A lot of us have been under spells for a majority of our lives and we don't even realize it. There's a word called spellbound. Spellbound. And the definition of spellbound is to hold the complete attention of someone as though by magic, to fascinate. Now, while they did make it a movie, a cute little Disney movie or whatever, this word has very real consequences and effects over our lives that we just don't know. I'm gonna give you a quick example with a story time of how words can affect you throughout your whole life and you be under a spell and you have no idea. As a child, probably in about the fourth or the fifth grade, a person of influence, I don't know if it was a teacher, a family member, or whatever, but it was an older adult female, had called me a word. Now, it wasn't like what you would think, like B or bad or anything like that. It was a word that was a little bit advanced for a child, so I never knew what this word meant. I just knew that when this person had called me this as a child, it did not feel good. The word had affected me so much to the point that I blocked out the person that had said it, and I never looked up the definition of this word. Even up until my adult years, I just never looked up this word. I could never bring myself to look up this word because I was so afraid of its meaning for some reason. Imagine someone calling you as a child a word that you felt was bad. You knew it did not feel good to be called this, but it would shatter your identity as a person if you looked it up and found out like they called you something like very demonic or whatever. Like that word had that big of a hold on me. So I just never looked it up. I never looked up this word. I just knew that it was a bad word. I didn't like how it made me feel when this person called me that word. So I just stayed away from that word. Anything that resembled that word, I just stayed away. One of the things that I thought that this word meant was just dishonest. I thought it meant sneaky, dishonest, and things like that. So I always tried to go above and beyond to not be sneaky or to be as honest as possible, which actually ended up helping and hurting me. So years and years later, I finally get the courage to look up this word. And the word is devious. 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 Imagine being called that as a child in elementary school by an adult and you don't know what the word means. So the definition of this word is showing a skillful use of underhanded tactics to achieve a goal. And the second one is of a route or journey longer and less direct than the most straightforward way. Now, I'm going to tell you how these particular definitions of this particular word and how the spell was placed on me as a child. As if you've ever known anything about playing poker or playing cards or defeating your enemy, one of the biggest things that people will tell you is don't show your hand. Well, when this person placed this spell over me using this word, it's almost like I had an inability to not show my hands. I would be the one to come to everything being exactly upfront who I am. You would get the whole story of my life, everything about me. I became an oversharer simply because I didn't want anyone to think that there was something underhanded about me, even though at that particular time I did not know that that's what that word meant. So when it came to keeping secrets about myself, I could not do that. I would literally have an enemy come to me and I would tell my enemy, this is how you defeat me. Here goes my traumas. Here goes my past. Here goes the things that I fall short in. Here goes my insecurities. Here is everything that you need to defeat me. I did not want to be underhanded. I did not want to be sneaky. I did not want to be use underhanded tactics. I did not want to do that, even if it was for my benefit. And I know most people are saying, well, you're not supposed to be doing that anyway. No, you're not to good people, but you are to your enemy. Imagine someone taking your cloak from you and you can't hide from your enemy. The second definition, and I think this one had affected me the most, is the longer and less direct than the most straightforward way. For majority of my life, I would take the long way around. Even when it came to directions, when it came to going to the store, I would take the long way around. When it came to education, I would take the long way around. When it take the relationship, the long way around. I would always take the long way, the hardest way to do everything, because learning and observing things make things come naturally to me. I can literally pick up on anything, just about anything, super easy. Education was so boring to me because I get things so quickly. And so in order to make things challenging for me, I have to make it longer. I have to make it more difficult. I have to make it more not on I didn't know I wasn't doing this intentionally. I was doing it because of this spell. And so once I had realized that, I said, "Oh, well, is this what I've been doing my whole life?" Yes. 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 You've been making your life harder on purpose without knowing that that's what you were doing. Not because you want your glutton for punishment, but simply because you were under a spell. So you might be asking, how did you end up breaking this spell? Well, this particular word was a word that I never told anybody its meaning to me. I never told anyone how I found out about this word, what this word meant, who spoke the word over me. I never told a soul about this word ever. And one day in general conversation, I'm having a conversation with a person, and this particular person calls me devious. And as I had explained to you, words and energy transfers um, uh, through words and sound and vibrations and things like that, right? So, just as I had said, you need to change, I changed my intent on how I say certain things. I changed my intent on how I hear certain things too. So, if I'm intentionally saying something to you where my intents are, to be uplifting, positive, helpful, noble, things like that, your intent may not match my intent, but I'm listening for your intent now, not the words that you're saying. Because you might now say a word that I don't know the definition of, which which means I now need to hear the intent and the energy behind what you are saying to me, even if I don't know that definition. So if you're saying something to me and it does not feel good, I don't hear the word that you say. I feel the intent behind the word that you say, which lets me know which energy you're working off of. Most people that have been spellbound usually have a trigger word. So if you have a word that you just never liked and it affected you in some type of way, that's probably most likely the word that was used to place the spell on you.